Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM News and Entertainment. Been away for a while, but now we're back and we've got plenty of news to talk to you about from around the world. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. The state of YouTube today in 2017 is that they are censoring a lot of the negative, or the, what do I put it, the terrorism, or the lot of the unfortunate incidents around the world. YouTube are clamping down on reports from alternative media outlets. So, as BWTM's motto is inspire, empower, entertain, empower, entertain, inspire, then we'll focus on just doing lots of positive news that the mainstream media won't cover. So what we're doing here is good news, or positive news for 2017, and we're going to start today with that, and that's where we're going to be focused on the positive news, because there's enough people around the world focusing on all the negative, dark, misconstrued, biased, sometimes racist, bigoted news reporting out there. So rather than focusing on that, we're going to focus on some positive news and some news that you can learn and be encouraged by. So we're going to start with this story in America. Let's see, a lot of our stories today will be coming from the States, celebrity based. And actually, we're starting with the rapper Chainz. The Chainz, the rapper, donates $1 million to Chicago schools. Chicago born and bred hip-hop artist Chainz the rapper has announced that he'll be donating $1 million to his home city public schools. The announcement came during a press conference at Westcott Elementary School, blocks from where Chainz grew up as a young student. The musician had reportedly sat down with Republican government Rauner on Friday to discuss education funding after Governor voted a $250 million educational fund initiative back in December. So basically, he was against it. Chainz was flustered after leaving the meeting, saying he had given a lot of vague answers without any compromise in sight. Illinois education system is one of the most severely underfunded in the nation. After years of being underfunded, the Chicago public school system had been forced to cut teachers, supplies, and after-school programs, said the artist in a statement. Despite having already cut $260 million in costs internally, CPS was left a $215 million gap in the budget as of May 2016. To prevent further irreparable damage, the only solution is for the governor to sign the bill allocating these necessary funds to CPS, and then working with the General Assembly to pass a budget and educational fund reform. As a CPS graduate, Chainz has shown Chicago students not only the heights they can achieve, but the generosity they can share. School district spokesperson Emily Bittner said in her statement, "We also appreciate a strong advocacy for Chicago school children who suffer under the state's discriminatory system of funding, which government Rauner continues to perpetrate." Now, we need to understand is Chicago is got one of the highest communities of black, is one of the biggest black communities in America. We talk about communities thriving, but in America, it's quite clear. And I've been to Chicago. And there's an actual video on our channel about Chicago, where we travel through Chicago. The gap between the rich and the poor is almost devastating. Seeing young people walking the street with just no shoes on their feet. The people, the adults, look like if they're wandering, hopeless, lost. Surely having an educational system that works is in the benefit of Americans. However, said that, it's more in the benefit of the prisons to have young black boys and young black girls being groomed for prison, because that makes money. That's how the American system works. So if you're fortunate enough to stay clear of the crime and actually get through the educational system and make it of your life, you've done well in America. So that's what it is. I'm going to definitely do a story on this because it is something that needs to be discussed. But it's a positive thing to see someone like Chainz, who's made the breakthrough, got out of the ghetto, say, and is now going back into the community. And that's fantastic. Several celebrities have come in support of Chainz's campaign, including the former Lady of the United States, First Lady of America, Michelle Obama. Now, the Obamas are from Chicago. They live in Chicago. And when I was in Chicago, I was able to drive and see, go past the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's house, also see Muhammad Ali's house that he had in Chicago, which was not too far away from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's house. And then just a little further down from that, there's the Obamas, all in a place called Hyde Park, very rich, very well-to-do, affluent area. But then we went through other places of Chicago, which was just deprived of any sort of, it was just awful to look at. So yeah, there's that story there. Congratulations, well done, Chainz. It's good to see a young man, you know, giving back to his community. It's fantastic to see that, and that's great for him. So let's move on. Our next story to talk about today. Let's come out with this article. There's about 4 or 5 articles I'm going to go through today, which I think are really good. And I saw them and thought, wow, look at that. Okay. Next article is another musician. John Legend puts thousands towards Seattle school lunch debt. So it's happening. People are doing their bit. Beloved singer and songwriter John Legend has helped to ensure the Seattle students won't go hungry while at school. His quiet contribution of $5,000 towards a GoFundMe page raising money to pay off student lunch debts in the Seattle Public Schools District is being hailed as a grand gesture of compassion throughout Washington State. Hold on, let's see. Gone there. The crowdfunding campaign, which was originally started by John Liu, was created with a goal of $20,000, enough to pay off any or all lunch debts racked up by families who can't afford to pay for their children's lunches. So when Liu saw that someone had contributed a quarter of the goal in one donation over the weekend, he was blown away. The $5,000 had come from a donor called John Stevens. After doing some quick Google sleuthing in an effort to thank the donor, he found out that John Stevens was the birth name of the rock and roll legend, music legend, John Legend. Lou then composed a thank you note with a quick addendum before his signature saying, "By the way, are you also known as John Legend? Regardless if you are not, thank you, you've helped a lot." Legend soon responded with, "Yes, it's me." Lou then took to Twitter to publicly thank the singer, to which the Grammy Award-winning musician replied, "My pleasure. We should have free lunch for all of our public students." Since the story has gotten such wide media attention, the crowdfunding page has now raised $41,000. All the additional funds will go towards paying nutritious student meals in the future. In Seattle, students who rack up over $15 in lunch debt are reportedly given modified lunches consisting of less nutritious components, such as dry white bread with cold cheese. This policy has been called an act of lunch shaming. Lunch shaming is considered the practice of shaming or humiliating school children who are behind on their meal fees. Examples of this practice have surfaced around the country. One boy in Alabama was reportedly sent home with a stamp on his arm reading, "I need lunch money." Lunch ladies have been forced to throw out student hot meals because they didn't have enough funds on their student accounts. Other schools have made children wipe down tables and wash dishes as payment for the meals. This is disgusting stuff. Though there has been no talk of high level action protecting children from this kind of treatment, New Mexico is reportedly on its way to become the first state to pass legislation prohibiting lunch shaming. In the meantime, however, Lou has started additional crowdfunding campaigns for the Tacoma and Rento school districts as well. Tacoma has already raised 20,000 of its 30,000 goal, while the Rento campaign has reached half of its attempted 18,000. This is absolutely ridiculous. So even when you looking at positive news, I can't believe it. That they're getting the children to wash dishes to pay for their. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what sort of humiliation is that? Just not good. And psychologically, that can't be good for any young person as well. Oh dear, I don't know how they. I don't know how a young person recovers from something like that. It must be so cruel, so cruel. That is abuse in itself. Well. Thank you, John Legend. Got a few more stories as well, but okay. You remember Shakira, the beautiful musician Shakira? Well, she's in the news. Did you know that Shakira built 7 schools in the poorest areas of South America? Check this story out. Colombian-born musician Shakira is being held for helping to build a seventh school in the poorest district of South America. Her organization, the Pies Descalzos Foundation, has built 6 schools in Colombia since it launched in 1997. The 7th school, Intuition Nuevo Bosques, will be open in her hometown of Barranquilla by 2019. The educational accomplishments is partially thanks to the foundation collaboration with FC Barcelona Foundation and the La Caixa Banking Foundation. In 2016, 25.7% of the area's population lived below the poverty line. While announcing plans for new schools, Shakira made a point of explaining how educating a community is the best way to overcome poverty. When we all started to build schools in the Colombia 20 years ago, we chose remote areas where there was absolutely nothing at all, no infrastructure, roads, or even potable water, said the singer in a statement. We built schools where the government was absent and thousands of children didn't have access to quality education. The transformation was immediate. Jobs were generated, malnutrition plummeted, and the students responded well academically. But of course, if you're getting good food in your stomach, you should be able to do well. That's fantastic. It's great to hear Shakira doing that. I wish her all the very best. So let's see what we've got here. Another story coming up. Another story. Didn't know this. Tennis player Roger Federer builds 50 new preschools in Africa, mobbed by kids in his first visit. Some of Roger Federer's biggest and youngest fans were probably too tiny to know about his victories of the tennis court and too touched by poverty to care much. They just know he's a man behind the creation of preschools across southern Africa, where now are learning and growing healthy with a hearty meal every day. They were thrilled this year when the tennis great came to visit them for the first time in celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Roger Federer Foundation. The 34-year-old Swiss athlete was funded by the building of schools for years, like one located in Malawi. He spent the day at preschools, visiting, sitting in classes, helping cook and serve lunch, and hang out with kids on the playground. The early childhood centres are scattered across 6 countries with more than 50 preschools in Malawi alone. I'm so happy and emotional that I can see a preschool of this quality here. It's quite extraordinary, said Federer during his visit. The community is so committed to helping the kids. It's so important as the foundation for learning. To date, the Roger Federer Foundation has spent $30 million over the past decade, touching the lives of more than 285,000 children, with renewed focus and involvement of teachers, local teachers and NGOs. It's plans to be feeding and teaching over 1 million kids by 2018. I mean, just another great story. The stuff you don't hear about, you know, that the mainstream media will not focus on, or the fake stream media will not focus on. They would rather talk about propaganda and stuff that divides us than what brings us together. Another fantastic story here. By the way, I'm getting all my stories today from the Good News Network, so check it out, the Good News Network. A few more other stories I want to check out here that caught my eye today. I'm going to end on this one. 2 more stories I'm going to end on. There's a story here. Check this story out. Rapper turns drug den into pop-up HIV testing clinic. American rap star 2 Chainz is being held for spending his Independence Day weekend in a rather unique way. The Pink Trap House, which is the building that was constructed for a music video featured on 2 Chainz' recent release album, was converted into a pop-up HIV testing clinic on July the 4th, which is also Independence Day in America. Though this is the first time the house has ever been used for such health-related issues, it has previously been utilized as a community center, church, and beauty salon for local residents. 2 Chainz posted about the event on Instagram, saying that visitors could get tested for free, as well as enjoy a host of games, giveaways, and Independence Day fun. The event was facilitated by the Fulton County Board of Health in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as Atlanta AIDS and Test Atlanta. Inside the Pink House Trap, something seldom shown: arts, kids, music, good vibes, inspiration, etc. The word trap is and was associated with a negative connotation, wrote 2 Chainz on social media. We will see after we get through. The phrase trap house is typically slang for a building that people go to buy drugs, but 2 Chainz is trying to turn the word around using the Pink House Trap for community events and fundraisers. And by the looks of it, he's off to a great start. So another great story. Shout out to 2 Chainz for doing what he's doing. The story that I'm very interested in is the water in Flint, because, you know, it's been water and the government's not really want to do much about it. Clean water pours into Flint as rapper The Game sends 1 million. Rapper The Game is stepping up the game for celebrities who want to contribute to suffering residents of Flint, Michigan during the city's contaminated water crisis. He delivered $1 million in cash and water, and challenged other small donors like Jimmy Fallon and Madonna, who gave $10,000 each to open their wallets wider. The game, also known as Jacon Tyrrell Taylor, has given $500,000 of his own money, and he worked with Avita Water to provide another $500,000 in free bottled water for city residents. Flint's water supply became contaminated after the city switched sources and lead leached from old pipes into its drinking water. Other celebrities such as Cher and Pearl Jam and Big Sean have contributed money and bottled water to the city's people, but the game's gift is believed to be the largest single donation so far. Stay tuned to see how many celebrities take him up on this multi-million-dollar challenge. Fantastic again. And you see, it's all celebrities doing this. No politicians, all celebrities. But again, great news. The rappers that we like to often say negative things about, you can't knock what they're doing here. Then we'll close on the story of Britney Spears. This is today's news. Britney Spears, she just donated heaps of cash to a child cancer treatment. Britney Spears has now stalked. Britney Spears has now staked a more noble claim to fame. The beloved pop idol reportedly donated over $1 million to the Nevada Childhood Care Foundation with funds raised on her Piece of Me tour in 2013. Set to open in the coming months, the 16,000 square foot facility will provide over 45 medical services for adults and children alike. In honor of the singer's donation, the facility has been named the Britney Spears Campus. There are many things I've done in my career that I am proud of, but none more than this, Spears said in a statement. The fact that I was able to use my celebrity status to raise the money to build this incredible facility to help sick children and their families when they need it the most not only brings many tears to my eyes, but really brings tremendous meaning to this amazing journey that I've been on. My aunt died of cancer, and I know the devastating effects that this terrible disease brings upon its victims and their loved ones. But when it happens to innocent young children, there's literally nothing I can do think of worse than that, continued Star. I'm just glad I can help in some small way. I want to thank the NCCF for the amazing work that they do on a daily basis, and I look forward to being there to officially open the Britney Spears campus of the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation in the fall. So congratulations to Britney Spears. Again, another celebrity reaching their hands out, putting their hands in their back pockets and donating. It's fantastic to see and hear. So brilliant stuff there. So what I'm going to do is obviously leave the links in the description box so you can check yourself and read it out. It's just so refreshing, and thank you so much, Mr. Skeptical. It's so refreshing to hear stories and statements and things that are going on from celebrities from around the world, or mainly based in America, and doing stuff to help their communities. And that's what has to happen. People need to go back to the communities and help out. It's all great with these politicians standing up and talking and saying they're going to do this and that, but it starts with us as well. We need to give back into our communities. But this is great to see celebrities doing this. This needs to be given out more, and more news needs to be about this. So can you shut up, please? Sorry about that. So this is fantastic news, and we are going to keep bringing you positive world news reports from around the world. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Again, I will leave the links in the description below once I finish the show. This has been BWTM Sports. We're out of here. Take care.